Today on Outside the Locker Room, we welcome Jacksonville men's basketball point guard out of Detroit, Michigan, attended Ferndale, then finished out in Arizona at Phoenix Prep, started your college career at Ashland University, where I got to cover you a little bit. Your freshman season, earning GMAC Freshman of the Year, making quite a statement with your stat line. Now, as I mentioned, beginning your first season with Jacksonville's program as a junior, we welcome Simon Wheeler. Hi, Simon.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right.
You've got media day tomorrow with Jacksonville. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, should be lit. Can't wait to see myself in a new jersey. It'll be a little different.
Yeah, you
But
like those blue jerseys, white and blue?
nah, white and green.
Green? Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I could have sworn they were blue. That's what,
Yeah, white and green, but yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. I'm back, different threads, but it should be fun, man. Should be fun.
well, let's go back to your beginning. You grew up in Detroit. How did basketball, I guess, come into the picture for you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like any kid playing sports. I had, my parents, with me to back me up. My dad was a football coach, so I was always around sports. So I was a football player and basketball player. And then by my like seventh, eighth grade year, my dad was like, just take one or the other, man, whichever one you want to do, and let's just take it serious. So, I started training a little bit more. Then as I got to high school, I went to a program that was like getting you college ready, man. So it was good learning that, being around colleges, and seeing the next level. So that was it for me. And then from there, I just started to take it serious, and happy I made it this far.
What made you said that your dad was a football coach. What made you choose basketball
It
over
was
football?
cold. It was so cold in Michigan. It was too cold.
Oh my
It
God, yeah,
was
no.
it was cold. People started getting bigger and bigger, and I wasn't not the same size. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play the other sport, man. I'm gonna go play the other one that's indoor.
Indoor, no snow,
No snow.
no cold Friday nights in November. Yeah, I don't particularly like covering football either because of the weather.
Yeah, it gets
Um,
pretty
Pretty
bad.
cold. And you said Detroit basketball is a little bit different. I was reading an article that Cade Crackus wrote. You said that Detroit basketball players are gritty, like the sport in Detroit is gritty.
Yeah,
You said they have some of the best talent. I guess, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what makes Detroit products so different from anybody else?
yeah. Everybody tough. So everybody got a little swag to them. They do what they do. So you play against everybody. Growing up, everyone's taking it serious. It's like a really good basketball mecca kind of coming up in my generation. Definitely, like, it was talent all over the place. So once you get enough games in and play enough people, they say you get better. Iron sharpens iron. So it's kind of how it
Absolutely.
is.
Was there anybody specifically or past, present that you think models Detroit basketball well, or how you describe it, I should say?
Um, Not even just model it, but just the talent of it. It's really good talent if you look at players all over the country. But for me, Cassius Winston is my guy. Growing up our day, I'm playing for the same AAU team. Just getting to grow up as a kid and see those type of guys that take it really, really serious. Being around that energy. It's just kind of something you follow. Something you get upon. And then obviously he went to Michigan State and had a really good career. Top 3 point guards ever at Michigan State. After Magic Johnson. So just seeing that and seeing him is a good what I'm saying, model for Detroit. I think it shows what we're about.
You said that you started taking basketball super seriously. You were training, doing all the things to be the best. 2021 hits, 2020, COVID hits, things change a little bit. You decided to go to Phoenix to train at a prep school there. What went into that decision, and kind of talk about your experience there? Because I'm sure it was a lot more intense than just a regular high school.
Man, basically throwing all your chips in the middle. We're gonna throw them all in the middle. Last year, right before college. Growing up, you see people that play on the prep circuits. A lot of times they end up pro players, and they playing those coming up, and it's like everybody's in one league. So, throwing all my chips in the middle, not knowing if I was ready or not, but I had enough confidence in myself. The school that I went to had enough confidence in me. So, when you hear like, oh, we're about to train like to get you college ready, that was something that excited me. And as I went, they did just that.
I feel like I just listened to a podcast where like it was either Channing Frye or Richard Jefferson went there. I
Hmm.
can't remember which one, but I feel like there's some notable people who come out of there, so they know what they're doing to prepare you guys for college.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of stuff to go on, man. I'm walking in as a 17-year-old boy and walking past Damian Lillard, or
Hmm.
it's a different NBA player inside of the practice facility every single day at prep school, and you just get to be around these stars and get to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
It's like something you've never seen before, like any NBA player, in there on any given day.
Was there anybody there that at some point you were like kind of having a fanboy moment inside that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing so and so?
Nah, I ain't never had like a fanboy moment.
No.
Close. I ain't never really had a fanboy moment. Growing up, I kind of came across, playing on the EYBL, those caliber guys like all the time. So you get to see them. Like one time, the first NBA player I saw ever was Bol Bol. I was like a 11-year-old kid, and this dude like 7 feet. He walking around. So I
Yeah.
mean, I saw played against Bronny and LeBron James was coaching. So I never really
That's
had a fanboy moment, but what I will say is I definitely like learned a lot from being around them. Like I
hmm
instead of a fanboy, I think I was more so like kind of like a little student around them, like kind of
Yeah.
picking their brain, asking them questions and stuff like that, which is kind of like what made them gravitate me more, because it was like, you know, I understand who y'all are, but what I'm saying, I want to know how y'all got to where y'all are, what I'm saying? So that was just something I always did while I was there.
I feel like in those moments when you treat those guys like humans and not like they're these celebrity huge name, and they
Yeah,
are, don't get me wrong, but
for
like
sure.
at the end of the day they're just one of us, and I feel
Yeah,
like they respect that almost even more
yeah.
when you come to them
And it got to a
one.
point where even like, it's like Damian Lillard, like, what I'm saying? It was just like kind of a word of mouth thing. He, NBA players know this stuff. So he
Yep.
noticed that, what I'm saying, I'm sitting there watching them and, stuff like that. And like the languages, that you talk and that type of thing. So it was got to a point to where he was like kind of helping me out, like like different just things of how to be a pro and how to, if you're gonna be a pro, like be a pro. What I'm saying, carry yourself like a pro on off the court, that type of thing. Just, and it was a guy named Phil Beckner who kind of showed me all of that stuff, like kind of in a short period of time. But it was crucial just to see how you need to carry yourself if you really want to be a pro.
Yeah, and those teaching moments are like priceless. You can't pay enough money for, moments like that with
Yeah.
people like that. So you go to Phoenix Prep to essentially prepare for college. You get an
Mhm.
offer from a couple different Division One programs.
Mhm.
You commit to Indiana, University of Indiana, Purdue.
Mhm.
Then you decommit and end up going to Ashland University.
Yeah.
Um, what made you decommit and then find yourself at Ashland, this small town Division Two school?
Man. So I was committed to a coach at IUPUI, and he was the interim the whole time. So, but he had a really good season. So, I committed thinking that him having a really good season, that they would plug him in as the full time head coach. So, unfortunately, he wasn't. They said they were going to go a different route and find somebody else, and I had already signed my letter of intent. So, I was good to go regardless. But, the new coach came in, he expressed the things that he wanted and, what I'm saying, expressed the things he was about and what his plan was for me. His plan didn't align with my plan. So, no bad blood, but we just decided to go a different way. My parents always told me, my dad for sure always told me have blind faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're good, they're going to find you. Like, it's not about where you start, you know what I'm saying? Wherever it is, if you're good, they're going to find you. And that was one thing I admired about him, because he never like tried to force me to be this D1 guy. Like he just
Yeah.
do the right things, and the right things will come back to you in full circle. So kind of that type of thing. And when I got to Ashland, it was definitely not what I expected. When I got there, small town like
Yeah.
that, I'm from the city. I don't know.
Farm town for sure.
Super small town like that. I don't know. We got to the basketball part of it, and it was like, I ain't gonna lie, Dad. You know what I'm saying? It's anything I can imagine. So the athletics part about it, it was great. And then I adapted to the community fast. Like it was such a loving place, and everyone was so open arms and loving. So it was great.
Yeah, I was gonna say like small town for sure, but that community shows up and shows out for the
Like no
sports.
other. Like no other.
Literally like no other. I mean, face paint for a small Division two like private school, they do a really good job. And
Oh
like,
man, I'm away, but I still miss it, man. I'm away, but I
oh
still miss it. I love that place.
yeah, Jacksonville fans have a lot to live up to Ashland. So your first 2 years of college there, maybe not. You don't notice huge adjustments, but obviously there's got to be something from high school to college that you noticed in terms of competition or skill was different. I guess like what did you learn?
Going into it, I learned fast. What I did learn is a lot of people think D2 basketball is just a pushover, and if you're good, that
Absolutely.
you're gonna just do whatever you want. Learn fast that no, they're just as talented as anybody, and then you see it all the time where D2s play D1s and win games, or low major D1s play. So it kind of depends on the culture, and which is what Ashland have. Ashland have a different culture about them. So I learned fast on, that everyone is also talented, but what I'm saying, with the plan that they have for me and the team that we had, I think I came in at a good pace, ready to play, so it was good.
Obviously, I'm sure you didn't come into Ashland thinking that you were going to transfer out, but like as I mentioned before, it's kind of every high schooler or kid's dream to play for like a Division One program. It's just kind of in the back of your mind, I feel like. So you go out there, you make some noise, you make a name for yourself in Ashland in the basketball, like even more than you already had.
Yeah.
Um, but this opportunity presents itself to go Division One. Was that kind of like in the back of your head, like I'm gonna go out there, try and rack up some stats, make myself like known, and potentially have an opportunity going Division One somewhere else, or was that not even on your radar?
I wouldn't even say it like that. Because going into it, it's like I'm gonna give what I got. No matter where it's at. So obviously, I wasn't really so caught up in the D1, life of it, because if that's why I went D2, because I was like, I'm gonna go to where I'm loved. What I'm saying? A lot of times at D1s, a lot of people be at D1s because it just sounds like the cool thing or whatever. And for me, being happy is the most important thing. So I got to be happy. So the D2 thing was great. So I just went out there and played. Honestly, like I was just playing, and it, what I'm saying, the opportunity presented itself of me doing everything right, the right way, and doing things how it's supposed to be done. The opportunity got presented. So a lot of times my dad say, it ain't about what you do, man. It's how you gonna do it, and you go about it. You do the things that you're supposed to, and good always to come back in full circle.
Okay, so then it's time to enter the transfer portal. You make that decision.
Yeah.
What went into that decision, and then how did you end up finding Jacksonville, the coaches, connecting with them, and were there any other teams that like you had on your radar?
Yeah, so I mean, the transfer portal is crazy. You have coaches calling you at any point of the day, thousands and thousands of coaches. Some are recruiting you very hard, some recruiting you less. So for me, while I was in there, Ashland was still on my mind. Like, if it's not anything that I want, if it's not anything that's appealing to me, I'll just finish my college career here at Ashland. Where it's home, and I had some of the best days of my life. So. Going into the portal, I was open to everyone. I talked to a lot of people, a lot of coaches. So I took a few visits, but I had a lot of them lined up. But as I came into Jacksonville, it was kind of like something that I was looking forward to, and a step to really going closer to my pro career. So just seeing Jacksonville, being a part of the culture, around the culture, I was committed by the time before the flight even left Florida to go back to Ohio.
Was that a conversation that you had with like Coach Ellenwood? Like, hey, I'm entering the portal, but just so you know, if I don't find anything, like I want to stay in Ashland.
Yeah, so, Coach Ellen was open to it. A lot of people called him about me. A lot of people were talking. The buzz was about, me going D1 as the season even wasn't even over yet. We're still on the back end of the season, and that's like stuff that's like people are saying in the air. So, we talked about it during the season, like, Coach, like, we'll worry about that later. Like, we're here to try to win another championship. We're trying to, do something big here at Ashland. We'll worry about that, all of that later. So it's kind of like we were together on that, like close to a circle, like all in on Ashland. And we're about in the off season, so after we lost, we had our player meetings, and it was tough, to even have this conversation. But it was with the guy that I love, man. I love Coach Ellen Wood, so we had that talk, and it was something like he gave me a time period. He said that he respects it, and he understands it. He understands how college basketball works today. You play good, you move up. So, he gave me a time period of, when he just needs to know whether it will be absent or not, but he supports me either way. Like, we still have conversations to this day, talk to him a little bit, every other week or something like that. So, it's my guy. So, we had those conversations.
Well, one thing that I immediately noticed, and I think a lot of the JDM department did too, because obviously we're covering sports, we're seeing who's coming in, was, your online presence, you're following on Instagram and
Yeah.
such, you doing these YouTube videos with different like basketball channels. You had your merch that NBA players were wearing. How did you find yourself in that space and growing that online presence?
Yeah. Basketball.
Just being
Just
all
so
about
happened to be around, the right people at the right time. I went to a camp one time, just going to just try to get better, try to learn something. And I happened to be in the same gym as a lot of players who were already hyped. So I wasn't really much into it as a kid about like the YouTube and stuff until I actually got around and seen it, because in Detroit it's just like, it's just people in Detroit. It's not really like no real big media. It is coming up now more and more, but when I was there in eighth grade, it wasn't that big media. So I just happened to be in a place where the media happened to be. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of changed my life. Met some really good people. Got to play with Terrence Clark. RIP to him. We miss him. But things like that. And then just kept going. And one video got posted, and people call me entertaining or whatever, the way that I play, and then like just the way that I carry myself. A lot of people tend to gravitate toward my energy, so it was just an event after another, and just being myself, man. A lot of people try to do it by doing things that isn't really them, just doing whatever. But for me, the best thing about it was just me being myself, and I got to meet some great people and do a lot of great things.
Yeah. A lot of people would refer to, I think, your game or your style of play as you being a shifty guard, which is, I
Yeah.
think, like, pretty general. How do you think that you would describe your style of play?
Just crafty. I kind of play off instincts. I try not to be a robot. I try to be loose with it sometimes. So, I mean, if I could say it, it's just like crafty. Pass first guard. That's just crafty.
Is there an NBA player or somebody that you model your game after, or somebody that maybe you studied that you like admire how they play and kind of want to, you know,
I try
be?
to. I'm realistic. Like, I'm not gonna be looking at LeBron James like, oh, I want to be like LeBron James. But I try to take bits and pieces out of from everyone in the NBA. Whether it's small things like how they carry themselves, or if it's like big things and how they move and like different moves that they're doing. So I mean, I watch a little bit of everything and try to be like a student toward it. So for me, that's just it for me.
I did some stalking
Oh
on.
man, what you come up with?
So back on October 29th, 2017, you tweeted, "If I told you my goals, you would probably laugh at me, dot, dot, dot." At that point,
Ah,
you're like, what, 14, 15 years old?
yeah.
What were these goals that you're talking about that you think people would laugh at you? And have you accomplished any of them?
Yeah, like I accomplished a lot of goals, man. I said this the other day, like sometimes a lot of people get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Like I sat back the other day and kind of like congratulated myself for the first time. Like, dude, like you really like living what kids dream of. Like, you know, like a lot of kids, especially like from Detroit, don't get to do a quarter of the stuff that we get to do, and it's only a select few of us that get to do it. So just being able to do it, man, it's amazing. But you know, if you tell somebody your goals as a kid, like I remember being in like second, third grade, all they do is tell you like, "Oh, I want to be a pro player," or I want to be a D1 college player," and they gonna tell you, I don't know, like you know, the chances are likely, and that's what a teacher would tell you when you're in second and third grade. So just stuff like that, you know, like a lot of times if you tell somebody your goal, like they're gonna laugh at you, but you know, it's also a point of time where you believe in yourself and you get that goal, and you know when they see it, it's like kind of crazy to them.
Yeah. So right now, like where you are right now at Jacksonville,
Right?
you've got 2 years left.
Yeah.
What are the goals right now?
Oh man, I want to win. I want to our goal as a team, and that's the great thing about Jacksonville. You know, I came here team like a bond. You know, we had it at Ashland, but you know, like here it's like very amplified. You know, so my goal is to you know do whatever it is that I need to do to help my team win and to be in that tournament. I want to win a conference championship that we talk about. You know, every day, hanging a banner up in Swisher. Uh, Whatever it takes to help us get a banner up a Swisher, and that's all. That's my goal.
I love that so much. Just win. That's literally, I mean, it's the foundation of everything
Yeah.
with that. So I like that. Well, let's get to know you a little bit better with some fun questions.
Okay.
Um, what's your favorite pair of shoes that you own right now?
That I own right now. I
Because I
just
saw a video where you were showing everybody your shoes. And you're like, I have to have my shoes. I have to have my
yeah. I
shoes.
got to. I gotta have some kicks with me. I just got. It's between two actually. I
Okay.
got one I wear a lot and one I haven't even worn yet. I take them a little. I value them different. But my Rick Owens, my Vans, I gotta have
Okay.
those. Those are central. They go with anything. You know, you can wear jogging pants. You could like anything. Rick Owens. But I just got my dream shoe, and I just got the Tiffany Air Force One. So
Oh my
I'm geeked
God.
about those.
And you haven't worn them yet? What are you waiting for?
I haven't worn them yet. I don't know. I gotta find a special occasion.
That's funny. Yeah, you gotta like baby them a little bit at first,
Yeah.
and then maybe one day you won't care as much.
Yeah.
Um, who's the most famous person in your contacts?
And my contacts. Uh, I just I would have to say Bronny. Like,
Ronnie.
yeah, probably
What do
Bronny.
you think about him and LeBron this year?
It's crazy, bro. Right? Like, LeBron just
Like,
posted a picture of him on the bench as literally as a like baby, an infant, and
I
they
know I
playing
saw
on the
that.
same team, playing together on the same. That's crazy. That's insane.
I think selfishly, everybody in Cleveland like wanted to see that here, but we're happy for it, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
they in
that
LA with it.
I guess that kind of leads me to my next question: Jordan or LeBron or James?
Ooh, I gotta go LeBron. That's what I grew up watching. You know, I wasn't really there to see Jordan, but Brian did some stuff that humans ain't. But look at him right now. That
Yeah.
man is 40 years old, playing like the best player in the world. Like that man is crazy. So I gotta go LeBron.
Would you say LeBron's your favorite NBA player, or do you have somebody else?
Nah, nah. I wouldn't say LeBron my favorite NBA player. My
Who's your
favorite
favorite?
NBA player probably Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie.
We have love for Kyrie in Cleveland,
Yeah.
so. Um, best memory from basketball so far?
Oh, probably winning the conference championship my freshman year. Honestly, that was lit. Especially like being told no to D1, and then you just go to a team and you just like genuinely love it, love the people, and then like you go have fun and win like a conference championship. Like people graduate and don't get to experience that. So that was fun.
What about a favorite teammate that you've gotten to play alongside of just because of like their energy, their personality, like somebody who makes you feel good as a player?
I had a lot of good teammates, man. Oh, it got to be my brother Keon, man. Keon in the field.
Well,
It got to be Keon.
what did you you play with him?
We played together a long time. Like we rode the bench together. We in 8th grade, like me and him was at the end of the bench together. And we got to prep school together and both went to college together. And we both play D1 basketball now. So it's like, it's just like you grow up, got a friend, went through every stage together. So he was actually my roommate when I went to prep school in Phoenix too.
Okay, yeah. I think I saw the video of like you went.
Yeah, that's my brother.
That's hilarious. Okay, favorite pregame snack?
Pregame snack. I don't really got a lot of rituals. Like, I'm with whatever.
Do you want something?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm with whatever. Like, you throw me some fruit snacks. You could throw. It's like whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If I rock with it on a day-to-day basis, I eat it. Whatever available.
Okay. What about favorite like quick restaurant like Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, like where you know?
Yeah. I'm Chipotle for sure. But I just had Cava for the first time. Have you ever had Cava?
I've had Cava.
Oh man, I had it for the first time last week. I gotta go back. It's amazing. I might eat that tonight. Actually.
Yeah, go get you some Cava. Okay. And last question. I guess somebody that you feel like you owe credit to for where you are today, personally, and I guess with your basketball career.
My dad. Have to be. Now that I'm getting older and growing up, like time is a real thing, and it's just a lot of times people don't get to put that much. Like, now that I'm becoming an adult and seeing like how busy my life is, like as a kid, he was like super bad because he never was not there. Like every step. I'm talking about after school, football, basketball. He coaching and still, coming back to help me like during the day. He still got to, figure out how to provide for family. So it got to be my dad, man. He spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of stuff just to invest it in me, and it's a full circle moment. So I was in Ashland, so he got to drive up a little bit, but he's like get a real like super game day experience now, flying in and stuff like that, going into these packed 20,000 arenas. So this would be full circle, man. To see him in that, and just to see my parents there, it'll be fun.
I figured you were gonna say your dad just from the way that you were talking about him at the beginning of the podcast. And
yeah,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Simon, thanks so much for joining me. We're definitely going to be following along with your career here at Jacksonville and wishing nothing but the best. Yeah,
Thank
of course. Yeah, have a good night.
You too.